It's November 14th, 2004. The USS Nimitz aircraft carrier, along with 4 other warships and a nuclear submarine, are conducting training exercises off the coast of California. For the past few days, the group's radar has been picking up indistinct returns from several targets nearby. By Sunday the 14th, the order was given to launch a pair of FA-18 Super Hornets to approach one of the targets and investigate. As the fighters closed in, radar operators on the USS Princeton watched as the object suddenly plunged from 20,000 feet down to just above the ocean in a matter of seconds. The lead pilot, David Fravor, reported that he could see a white cylindrical craft about 45 feet long, darting wildly over a region of foaming water below. Fravor decided he would spiral down to investigate further, while junior pilot Alex Dietrich stayed behind at 20,000 feet as backup. But as Fravor started his descent, the object that soon would be known as the Tic-Tac began spiraling up to meet him. For a while, the two circled each other, but as they reached the same altitude, Fravor straightened out and flew right towards the Tic-Tac. As he closed in, the UFO suddenly darted off into the distance. After that, Fravor and Dietrich returned to the Nimitz to report what they had seen. Meanwhile, the Princeton reacquired the UFO on its radar, and another Hornet was dispatched to continue the investigation. That Hornet had a forward-looking infrared, or FLIR, camera on board, and this is the footage it recorded. You can see the weapons officer zooming in and out and switching from infrared to regular view before the Tic-Tac once again suddenly darts off to the left. And that is, as of today, the most well-documented UFO encounter in human history. Half a dozen flight crew and several radar operators on 2 different ships saw this Tic-Tac on radar, on camera, and with their own eyes. There is no denying it happened. The question left hanging, of course, is what the hell was this? The most obvious answer, that this is some advanced American weapon being tested against friendly forces, has been publicly denied by the US government. And military experts agree that the Tic-Tac behaved in ways far beyond the current technology of not only the United States, but Russia and China as well. Some have suggested this is a case of misidentification. Perhaps it was a missile launched during the training exercise by the submarine in the group, the USS Louisville. But a missile couldn't match all the observed behavior of the Tic-Tac. And neither can any of the other proposed theories, that it was a balloon, that it was a small plane like a Cessna, that it was a conventional drone, or even that it was a 3-dimensional projection. No, somebody or something built the Tic-Tac somewhere. One question we should ask first is whether there were any life forms on board. The argument against any living thing piloting the Tic-Tac is its rapid acceleration. Calculations from the video recorded indicate that the craft pulled 75 Gs when leaving view. As far as we know, that is more than enough to kill any being inside. That's why some think that the Tic-Tac was robotic, guided by artificial intelligence. But whether there were living beings on board or not, who are they? The unavoidable answer we seem to be left with is aliens. And the Tic-Tac did exhibit characteristics of what we would expect to see in a craft that can travel great distances in space. Any visitors who would be coming from other star systems would need to have found a way to travel faster than the speed of light. And some physicists on Earth have already figured out how to do it. It's called the Alcubierre, or warp drive. It takes advantage of an odd quirk of our universe. The only thing that can move faster than light is space itself. The Big Bang expanded it many times faster than the speed of light, but that's because space itself was expanding, and it still is today. With a warp drive, you surround your ship in a bubble of space-time and move the bubble as fast as you want. Today, with our current understanding of physics, this would take an impossible amount of energy, but it's not difficult to imagine that some other species, hundreds of thousands of years more advanced than us, has figured it out. And here is how warp drive relates to the Tic-Tac incident. It would explain how it can move at tens of thousands of miles an hour through our atmosphere and not burn up, or why it was never heard to make a sonic boom. And if there were beings on board, they would experience no feeling of acceleration, because their ship isn't moving inside the warp bubble. It's the bubble that's moving, not them. It's also important to note that some witnesses to the Tic-Tac did see what appeared to be a shimmer around it, which may be an indication that it was warping space to move. It also means that the Tic-Tac can probably move seamlessly from space to air to water, as other UFOs have been observed doing in the past. And that, in brief, is the Tic-Tac incident. Several days in 2004 that leave little doubt that something strange is happening in our skies. While we are still left to theorize about where the craft came from and who made it, we can't deny that it is happening. As for what's next, that, it would seem, is up to them.